I'd like to introduce you to the IBM Developer Extension for Visual Studio Code. This extension allows you to access commands from the IBM Developer CLI without ever having to leave the context of your editing environment. What I'm starting out with here is a Node.js BFF, or backend for frontend application, that was generated by the bxdev create command from the IBM Developer CLI. I want to run this locally using the bxdev debug command. This command will start up the application in a Docker container locally on the local machine for development that is identical to the Docker image that it will be running in when it's pushed to production in the cloud. Let me go ahead now and launch my debugger. You can see here I've got a command to attach to container, and this is going to attach the VS Code debugger to my Node.js process running in the local Docker container. And you can see we've got a breakpoint. We'll go ahead and keep running there. And the debugger is connected to the Node.js process in the container, and we can see here that our application is running on localhost port 8080. So if I go ahead and jump to the link that we see here at the bottom for the Swagger UI, where we can see the generated starter endpoints for our API. Now let me go ahead and hit try it out. And you can see I've got a breakpoint here, and I'm able to hit breakpoints within the Node.js application. And again, the Node.js application is actually running inside the local Docker container. I could step through the code line by line. I could view what's in memory. I could even open the debug console and start browsing around the memory scope. But I want to focus on what we can do with the IBM developer tools. The next thing I want to do is go ahead and push a build of this up into the IBM cloud. So I'm going to bring up the command palette, which is by either pressing the F1 key or Command-Shift-P, and then we're going to run bxdev deploy. And let me go ahead and expand the output here. This is going to create the Docker image and then push that Docker image up into IBM Bluemix, which is IBM's cloud platform, and it's going to make that available on the public cloud as soon as this deployment is complete. I've sped up this deployment just for the sake of time for this video, but once it's complete, we'll be able to check it out running on Bluemix. Okay, it looks like our deployment is complete, so let's take this domain name, this URL. Let's jump back over to the browser, and we'll go ahead and paste it in here and jump to the Explorer. And again, we can see the Swagger UI for that API, which we've just deployed to the cloud without ever having to leave the code editing environment.